Good morning, all. I'd like to call to order the August 7th information meeting for the Lindenville Land Harbor POA. Welcome to everyone this morning. First of all, I'd like to ask if you have your cell phones, I'm sure a lot of people do, please silence them or turn them off. Our invocation this morning will be led by Ms. Grace Otten, Dr. Grace Otten.
Good morning. Please pray with me. Lord, thank you for the opportunity to gather with family and friends in the most beautiful natural setting on earth, Lindenville Land Harbor. Help us to make the right decisions to protect our precious Lindenville Land Harbor as we welcome new members, our children and grandchildren, to this mountain haven. I pray that we will work together with patience. Help us to grow together as a community. In the Lord's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Grace. Our Pledge of Allegiance by Ruthanne Alexander. Please stand. Thank you, Ruthanne. And thanks, everyone, once again for being here today. Should be an interesting morning. I'd like to introduce our board members as they exist for this meeting. Dr. Grace Otten, our Vice President. Mark Solomon, our Treasurer. Scott Hopkins, our Secretary. Ruthanne Alexander. Jan Blackwelder, Mike Bosher, and Tommy Oakley. And I have the honor, of serving as your president. I'm Waylon Bean. Mark Solomon will now give us our financial report.
Thank you, Scott. Is this on? Oh, yeah. So the June financials are complete, and the total revenues through June were $4,627,526.15, and expenses were $2,085,399.39 at essentially 43.5% of the annual budget. The July financials are not complete, but results through June 30th reflect the following numbers. Annual dues include utilities, TV, and internet collected through June 30th was $3,567,228.89, or 100.5% of the $3,546,406 forecasted in our budget for 2021. Initiation fees collected through June 21st are $293,460, or 186.3% of the $157,500 forecasted for 2021. Reserves continue to increase as of June 30th, 21. Lindenville Land Harbor has $4,750,000 invested in CDs in 19 banks and $30,124.62 in principals and GNAs, MAs, with 100% of the principal guaranteed, and $499,770.29 in IDPs. The financial condition of Lindenville Land Harbor continues to be very sound. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you for that, Mark. And now, what we like to call the entertainment portion of the meeting. Scott Carpenter will do the manager's report.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Waylon. Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you, Waylon. Good morning to our property owners. Today is going to be the Reader's Digest version because we've got the candidates at the end of the meeting and I don't want to take up their time. I typically show pictures of a beautiful front entrance. However, today I wanted to share the flower bed. This one's located at the entrance to Laurel Hills. It's very beautiful. Our owners have always been prompt in paying their annual fees. I've compared our annual dues, utilities, cable television, and internet 2020 to 2021. Through July 2020, the average for these three revenue items, the collection rate was 99.1%. For the same period for 2021, the collection rate is at 100.6%. The owners should be proud of themselves for the great job they do supporting their Property Owners Association. The High Country Association of Realtors provided this information about residential home sales for the month of June. For the 4 counties listed, Allegheny, Ashe, Avery, and Watauga, sales were up 24.8% for the month of June compared to June of last year. There were 287 sales for June 2021 and 230 for June 2020. The median sales price is up 31.1%, with the average price for June 2021 being $335,000. For June 2020, it was $255,500. Land Harbor has had 84 home sales so far this year. And to start out with about 7 or 8 on the market, I think that's really, really good news. This year, the operations crew picked up 21 loads of wood, 15 loads of metal, and 41 loads of trash. The loads are all in our ton dump trucks. Paint was picked up in our smaller gators with 17 loads of paint being picked up. When picking up the items, we pick up by what the item is. If it doesn't fit in the wood, metal, or paint category, it is considered trash. This is why you will see the crew not picking up everything into one truck. So you may have 3 or 4 times being picked up at your house. The size of the dumpsters that we get for this project are 30 yards. As you can see, we picked up a lot of paint. Avery County offers a hazardous waste collection day every year. This year it is Saturday, August 28th from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. The location for this is behind the Avery County Board of Education building in Newland, or 269 Bell Road. They will take pesticides, herbicides, all types of paint, stain, and varnishes, petroleum products, glues and related adhesives, cleaners and drain openers, all types of batteries, gas, oil, and antifreeze. Television and electronics will not be accepted this day. The county takes these items every second and fourth Saturday of every month throughout the year at this same location. All that paint that you saw on the previous slide, our guys will come in on that Saturday, a couple of them, and take the paint over there. We continue to have owners in their guest parking at the activity centers when they are not using them. Please be considerate as the owners who are using the centers need the parking spaces. I've added the parking for activity center use only signs at our 3 activity centers. The Recreation Department will start losing staff all next week as they prepare to go back to school. Starting August 16th, we'll have no staff except for Michelle and Gina. Please be careful and patient when coming to the pool and checking out our boats. There will be no lifeguard on the stand for the remainder of the season. Never swim alone. The pool will close for the season at 6 p.m. Monday, September 6th. In the game room, the skee ball machine is down and is scheduled to be repaired September 26th. We've ordered an air hockey table that should be here in the next few days. We hope these machines will be treated respectfully. The paddle boats are no longer available for the rest of the season. They are just completely worn out. The kayaks will continue to be available during pool hours. We plan on ordering 2 new paddle boats for next season. Flea market. It's going to be Labor Day, Monday, September 6th, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. We still have several spaces available. Remember, this year, all spaces are located outside. This year we have 5 candidates who are running for 3 seats. Deadline to return your ballot is Tuesday, September 7th by 5 p.m. The Election Counting Committee will count the ballots on Wednesday, September 8th, and the winners will be announced later that day. Today at this information session, each board candidate will be given 5 minutes to introduce themselves to you. We're also having a board candidate question and answer event this Monday, August 9th at 1:30 here in the Rec Complex. We encourage everyone to come out and meet the candidates. All golf clinics have been very well received this year. I'll add so far they have all been sold out. On August 2nd, we had a visit from the Avery County Health Department for our sanitation review at the Patio Grill. I'm pleased to report, as this picture shows, we received a 99.0 rating, same rating as last year. Our 15-mile-per-hour speed limit has been the same in our neighborhoods for quite some time. As you can see, the tree has grown over the speed limit sign and is holding it in place. I'm asking all owners and their guests and contractors to please follow our speed limit signs. 19 miles per hour on the Land Harbor Parkway and 15 in our neighborhoods. The 40th Annual Fish Fry is Saturday, August 14th. They have almost sold out of tickets. Please see a Fishing Committee member for your ticket or call Paul Johnson, Fishing Committee Chairman. Weekend garbage for August 14th and 15th. The garbage truck will be here in the parking lot of the rec hall. The reason for that is the fish fry guys need to use it as well. So after that, it would be located back at the landscape shop after this weekend like we've been doing for our weekenders this summer. You should have received an email about a survey that is being conducted by the Long-Term Planning Ad Hoc Committee in compliance with their charter responsibilities, which states to survey owners to understand the needs of the community for the future. This is a single yes or no initial concept survey to determine if implementing a gate system that would control access to Land Harbor Parkway and only Land Harbor Parkway would appeal to our property owners and members. The sole purpose of this survey is to determine if there is sufficient interest in this undertaking to warrant further investigation. Please be sure and complete the survey. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Josh, who always does a great job in editing that. Next item will be the report of yesterday's board meeting by Scott Hopkins.
Good morning. I like following that event because there's no way I can compete with it. So I do have some information for you that I think would be of interest. The meeting was called to order by Wayland. The invocation was by Ruthanne Alexander. The pledge was by Mark Solomon. First item was the approval of the agenda. We made the following change. B on this item was a report on the executive session by me. We're going to select some people for the committee to negotiate new cable TV internet. That should be of interest to you. Then we have XA, which is acceptance of the RC bylaws, which were voted on, and the authorization to purchase sound barriers, which is XB. All right, first, I'll talk about the July 9th executive session. Now, these were 3 sessions during 2019, and we have 3 board members, Tommy, Mike, and Jan, who were not members of the board at that time, so they did not get to vote on this. They came, Amy presented the minutes, and we approved the minutes unanimously for all 3 sessions, which were on July the 9th, June 20th, and July 8th, those in 2019. So we got that paperwork cleared up. Next item was the approval of the minutes of our July meeting. These minutes were sent to the board members, and they unanimously approved the minutes. All right. Property owners' inputs and concern. Scott Carpenter read a letter from Judge Chapin of 45 U Loop expressing concerns about the feral cat problem at LLH. Carolyn Wigness of 1842 Goose Hollow Road reported on the feral cat problem and the efforts of a group of LLH property owners known as the Community Feral Cats and their progress and challenges, and requested the POA board consider some financial support. One of the R's and R's discusses the problems with wild animals and is going to study the problem and discuss possible financial support. Dan O'Brien of 258 Knoll Circle reported the proposed RC bylaws were approved. He reported he had been verbally abused and was especially unhappy with the board liaison. He read some of the comments he had received and offered to share a written copy. Joe Casalonio said he supported Dan Bryan's comments and had 4 questions concerned. Waylon Bean suggested that if Joe has concerns, policy indicates he should go through the RC chair, and then Scott's Carpenter, Waylon, and the RC chair, and Grace, who was the board liaison to the ad hoc committee, and he should follow the same process with this list. The CDC report request of Bill and Teresa Ellis to build a cart shed beside their house at 72 River Road. This was supported by neighbors and unanimously approved by the board. Here's the committee to approve cable TV and internet negotiations. And I think this is one of the real bargains at Land Harbor. Let me give you a little personal opinion. We've identified 3 people so far. Jerry, who will represent the Long Range Planning Committee, Ken Walters, who will do the at-large, and Mark Solomon, who will be the board liaison. Now, as time progresses, we will fill in this committee with additional members from different committees. The contract does not expire until the end of this calendar year, and we have the option of renewing it for 1 more year while we negotiate a new contract. Hopefully it's better, but I think we have a pretty good one now, so it's an editorial opinion. Okay, it went too far. Here we go. Let me go back up a little bit. All right. The proposed Racket Club bylaws were approved by the RC membership, and the board unanimously approved those yesterday, and they went into effect. The purchase of the sound barrier equipment, which was part of the RC ad hoc committee amended recommendations, passed by a majority vote of 7-1. New business, you'll probably find this one hard to believe. There are people concerned about speeding. You know, and anyway, so we as a matter of fact, I worked on that this morning because where's Scott? Scott's been working on it since yesterday. We're trying to figure out a solution. And there are limitations on our police. There are this rule and state regulations, and so we have a committee. That's always a solution. Ruthanne is chairing the committee, and Jan, Mike, and Tommy, and they're going to meet with Chief Phillips, and we'll try to come up with some type of possible solutions because it's been a problem for a long time. And to quote someone, we have a lot of non-readers. And I'll pick on me for a moment, you know. I get embarrassed every once in a while when I go down Lakeview, and I usually take Lakeview, which is one of the problem areas, 15 miles an hour, and I'm lost in thought. And I look up, and there's someone I know. And I look down, and I'm doing 19. Oh! So it is a problem, and it has to be awareness, but there are limits to what we can do. And so we're addressing this again, and we'll probably address it most of this year. But we hope to come up with a solution that's fair and equitable and protects the safety of Lynn Harbor residents. I think that's the main thing. Thank you. Oh, wait, one more thing. We did have an emergency executive session after our meeting yesterday, and we met, and then we adjourned. Thank you.
So you're the one that those people are talking about in the community, huh?
I'm afraid so. I've been known to be lead-foot Scott occasionally, but try not to. So.
Okay. All right. The next item will be, you'll be hearing from our board candidates for the 21-22 session of your POA board. In alphabetical order, I'll introduce them, and then we will give them time to make their 5-minute presentation by randomly selecting their names out of this plate. I'd like to remind the candidates at this time, you'll have 5 minutes to present your speech. At 4 minutes, Amy will hold up a yellow card indicating 1 more minute to go. At 5 minutes, she'll hold up the red, and we ask you to take your seat, say goodbye, and take your seat. Okay? Thank you. In alphabetical order, our candidates are Ruthanne Alexander, Dr. Frank DeFelice, Paul Halter.
He's on the computer.
And he's on the computer right here. Kathy Cake, and Patio O'Brien. Okay, I will select the first one, and as whoever that is, as you finish your presentation, if you will select the next one, they'll come forward and do theirs. Paul Halter.
Hello, my name is Paul Halter. Thank you, members, for your service to us, the property owners. Your positive can-do approaches to issues have helped all property owners. Our association has thrived with values and activities. I would enjoy continuing your hard work with you when elected as a new member of the respected Lynn Harbor Board. I believe in God, and I have a personal Savior in Jesus Christ. Let me mention COVID-19, the Delta strand, which I want you to know I had. My son says I am the Delta strong warrior. And if you want to talk more about my experiences later, I would be glad to share. I have chosen out of an abundance of caution to attend all of this weekend's events where possible remotely. Back to what I'm here to do. My top 3 goals, if elected as a board member, will be: number 1, focus on Lynn Harbor budget and financials, making sure our money is being spent efficiently to maintain and preserve the beauty and integrity of our community. while also keeping a healthy reserve account on hand. Number 2, focus on communication, making sure the interests and concerns of the Linville Land Harbor property owners are represented and discussed. Number 3, focus on transparency and access, making sure owners have information for them to have a thorough knowledge and understanding of Linville Land Harbor assets and ongoing allocations. My extensive background in the business of lending management, finance, renovation, and real estate sales are resources I will bring to the board. I am committed to work toward and support continued positive management by our board for our property owners. This requires responsible management, which I support and hope to be a part of. I am always open to listening to the suggestions of our association members and owners. My personal cell is 904-349-1200. My mom and dad got me to see the value of Linville Land Harbor, where they bought one house, then another. Before Mom's passing, our family bought one of the houses. It was a park model. Before she died, I bought with another family that lot and trailer, and we started our dream of having a home in North Carolina. My sister got our other home when she died and owns it today. We added, remodeled, pulled trailer out, and then bought another home together on the river and have added, remodeled, and created so many wonderful family members there. This last year, my son Eric bought a home that had been vacant and has renovated it. He has had his family up here fallen in love with North Carolina and Linville Land Harbor. My youngest son bought a home next to my home this year and is remodeling it. I am invested in our community, and I will work my best to continue our fine progress. Our community is a diamond in the mountains, and we all know that. Our values are growing. Our activities are many. We are making the wisest, fiscally sound decisions we can. I am committed to continuing to make sure to oversee as board of directors our management teams, making sure they receive what is needed to get their jobs done to run our community for the property owners. I promise to have fun, listen, and help all sides realize their dreams. I ask you to vote for Paul Halter. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. As he is not here, I will select the next one for him. Dr. Frank DeFelice.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Frank D. Felice. I'm not an MD. I'm a Chapel Hill PhD economist. I did an MBA simultaneously. I'm a financial economist, world class, with publications in leading journals both here in America and Europe. I'm here today as an unpaid consultant to inform the membership that Land Harbor is not being run right. I will point out the problems and the solutions. Land Harbor is a nonprofit corporation that is being run as a very profitable business to the detriment of the membership, especially the summer residents. Proof of this fact is the $13,940,898 listed by the accountants as, quote, owner equity, is actually accumulated profit from charging more than the cost of utilities and amenities, which is not supposed to be happening in a nonprofit corporation. Nonprofit corporations are supposed to charge only the marginal cost for amenities and utilities. There should be no profit. Where are they making these profits? One place is cable TV. They always charge us, on average, $25,000 more than it costs. Last year it was $34,000. Golf fees are twice what they should be. The marginal cost of providing golf is about $200,000 a year. Yet they collect over $400,000 in golf fees. The marginal cost of tennis is far less than the $28,000 to $35,000 a year they charge to play tennis. The same goes for fishing. $24,000 to $26,000 a year to fish in state-owned water is ridiculous. The biggest ripoff is what we are charged for water, $596,274. No way that water costs anywhere near that. And making summer residents pay the same as year-round residents is not fair. Land Harbor is the only place I know of in America where there are water meters that are not read to determine the usage. The marginal cost of water per gallon should be determined and the meters read so that water costs will be fair for all. This is what I am about, fair fees for all. No more subsidizing the fees of year-round residents by charging summer residents the same as year-round for utilities. And it is not only unfair to charge more than marginal cost for utilities and amenities, it is unethical and a violation of the spirit, if not the law, relevant for nonprofit corporations. We should be ethical, law-abiding citizens, and that will benefit us all financially. The so-called investments that are listed on the accountant's report are CDs, and they do not meet the economics definition of investment because the interest rate is lower than the inflation rate, which means that the real value is declining daily. The golf course snack bar is a prime example of a profitable business based on monopolistic pricing, and that shouldn't be in a nonprofit corporation. I don't care I don't care if you vote for me to be on the board. I'm just here to inform the membership about the problems and how to fix them. And if elected, I won't serve. I don't have time. But I want to see the place run right. So that's the essence of my candidacy, is to be here and to inform the membership of the problems and how to fix them. I've been fixing finance problems for 50 years. My time's up.
You pick one of those for me, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our next candidate, Ruthanne Alexander.
Good morning. I had this speech already, but I knew when I got up here and I saw everybody sitting out here, I would probably tear up because I love Land Harbor, and there are so many people out here that I consider not only friends but family, and I thank y'all for being here. 3 years ago, I stood up here and gave a speech asking for your vote. Well, what has happened in that past 3 years? Well, I've learned a lot, and I've been a little stressed at times. I've met a lot of new people, and I've made some new friends. If you had asked me 9 months ago if I was going to run for the board again, I would have said no. But here I am. And the reason is I love Land Harbor. I am 67 years old. I've lived in 27 different places in my life. This is my home. For many years, people would ask me where I'm from, and I was like, well, you know, I was born in Berkeley, California. Can you tell from the accent? And but now when people ask me where I'm from, I say I'm from Linville, Land Harbor. This is my home. The second reason I decided to run is because over the past 3 years, I feel like I have accomplished a few things. One, we've been able to create and support the Recycle Committee. We have created the Unkept Property Ad Hoc Committee, and we continue to work with that, and that committee continues to be educated as to what they can accomplish. At the meeting yesterday, Scott mentioned that I had helped put together a group to work with Chief Phillips to see what we can do about the speeding situation here in Land Harbor, especially on Lakeview Drive. And so I'm excited about that. As we grow, Land Harbor has changed a lot. My first visit was in 1987, and we've seen many, many changes since then. Our demographics have changed, and the technology in the world has changed, and I want to work with the management and with the people of Land Harbor to use the technology to the benefit of educating and communicating with our owners. I would like to see our owners I want to help our owners understand how we really have some good communication. And Josh, I'm going to say right now, if you haven't given Josh your email address, then you need to do that, because he sends out notices about what's going on in Land Harbor all the time. And also, he can help you get on the members website, which has a lot of good information. So, what is Josh's email address? Josh, it would be Irwin, IRWIN at linvillelandharbor.com. Is that right? Okay, thank you. The other area that we want to look at is we are seeing more and more renters in Land Harbor. We've got the Airbnb and the VRBO. And what we want to do is work to educate people that are renting their homes to give information about what they can and cannot do here in Land Harbor. Also, over the last few weeks, we have been able to get the new trash truck put over here on the weekends so that renters and weekenders have a place to put their trash. So that's something that we have accomplished. I worked for 34 years for a Fortune 500 company whose main idea was customer service. We wanted to meet the customer where they were. And I see the owners and the employees of Land Harbor as my customers as I serve on the board. And I want to listen to you, and I want to serve you all the best I can. If you've got any questions about where I stand or what I feel, what I believe, please feel free to call me anytime or email me, and I will be glad to respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruthanne. Kathy Cake.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to start out by acknowledging my husband, Jim Cake, and thanking him for his encouragement for my candidacy for the board, because what I've learned, it's been a big time commitment just running for the board. So I would not be able to volunteer my time to serve on the board without the support of my husband. Jim and I fell in love with Land Harbor when we first started coming here some 20 years ago. We bought our home in Lakeview Hills in 2010, and we've spent the last 7 summers here since we retired in 2014. We spent our winters in the Florida Panhandle, where we have our 3 grandchildren. I provided a synopsis of my professional career in August Harbor Light, so I won't repeat all of my background now. I'll just summarize that I'm a retired civil engineer and a retired certified floodplain manager. I have a good background in infrastructure. I spent 40 years working for the wood products industry. I served on a board of directors in Florida, and I also reported to a board of directors for a nonprofit trade association for almost 30 years. During that time, I developed and I managed annual budgets. So since retiring, I've taken advantage of almost everything Land Harbor has to offer. I say almost because I don't think any one person could possibly do everything that we have to offer, but I have tried, as many of you know. So what I've kind of settled on this past year is I'm a member of both of the 9-hole and 18-hole golf organizations, the Racket Club and Shuffleboard. I also love playing duplicate bridge. And I'm a deadheader. And I estimate that my small team of deadheaders has alone saved Land Harbor $700 just so far this summer with the work that we've contributed. And the best part of all of this, though, is getting to meet all of you and our wonderful people that make up this community. So my reason for running is very simple. I love Land Harbor, and I feel like I'm at a good point in my life to be able to serve on the board. And I've also, since I've been running, I've had the privilege of meeting many more of my neighbors. So my friend Darlene Powers and I have gotten into our golf cart with our list of all the properties by street address and with our map, and we've gone out and met many of you. So to date, we have actually talked with and interacted with 508 of our property owners, or about a third of all the properties that are out there. So I've learned a lot from that and gotten a good perspective. What I've learned is that we have some beautiful properties that you wouldn't even imagine when you have these wonderful outdoor spaces and wonderful views. But we do have, and we have properties that are being fixed up, and then we have some properties that are in need of being fixed up. And with these discussions with these people, I've also learned a lot. So one of the things I've learned is the vast majority of people here in Land Harbor feel like I do, that our staff and our board do a wonderful job of taking care of all the business that needs to be done so that our community can just simply enjoy life here in Land Harbor. I did get a lot of comments and concerns that I will be sharing with the board when I'm elected, and just some kind of general thoughts that, just remember to be kind and respectful to our neighbors. Darlene and I probably encountered 75 to 80% of properties that have dogs, most of them 2 or more, which is wonderful, but do a good job of keeping track of your dog barking. So Land Harbor is an amazing place. I'm grateful to have found it. Our community is well run, good financial condition, but I believe in always trying to strive to improve. So I pledge to use my experience, my skills, to study the facts, the data, make decisions that are well informed and fair to everyone in our community as a whole. I would be honored to have your vote. Let's keep improving.
Thank you, Kathy. Unless there's been a terrible mistake, this should say Patty O'Brien. Where is Patty? There she comes.
Well, good morning. I'm pretty good about reading, so bear with me on it as I come prepared. I want to thank you for your time. You all came out here today to hear this and to hear about the board meeting, so I appreciate it. Dan and I, my husband, found this properties in 2016. Took us 2 years to find the house, but we did, and we've been improving it since we bought it. We found the people that we encountered to be friendly and kind. It was a wonderful experience as we bought, and we've been becoming a part of the community. It's not hot here. It is hot in Florida right now. So we spend our time in the summer here and then go back to Florida. We will be back for Christmas, though, because we enjoy snow. When I got here, I decided that I needed to know what was going on in the community, so I started attending the POA board meetings. And for those of you that are on the board and have been on the board, you've seen my face every board meeting, and some of them have been very long and a lot of conversation, but it was always about improving Linville Land Harbor. So as I was asked by several members to serve on the board, I really gave some comments and thoughts to my husband about it, and he encouraged me, much like Kathy said, these husbands are pretty good about encouraging us. So the top things that I came to mind as I served as a board member here would be consistency. The consistently enforcement of the current rules and regulations that are here. To be detail-oriented, be willing to dig into the details and ensure the correct interpretation as it pertains to the documents that govern the POA. Integrity. This is paramount. You have to have it to gain the trust of you all that I would do the best I can for you. Fairness. To be open to all of the community, not just a few. Be cooperative with the board. To listen to other board members and be able to be fair to everyone as we're making decisions for the community. Openness. That's to be forthcoming with the community as we speak to you. Let you know what's going on and speak in a way that's fair and it's open. When I say something to you, I mean it. I don't talk out of both sides of my mouth. So if you hear it from me, trust me. The other thing is self-awareness. I have to be able to know when I have limitations and to be able to ask for help. To know that there are other people out there that have been there and they're willing to help. If elected, I'm committed to accepting the expectations and responsibilities this requires of me, and I'll spend the time and put in the effort that's needed to ensure that the issues and concerns of the homeowners are addressed. Having served on various civic and professional boards, both as a member and an elected official, I feel that I'm qualified to do this for you. My vision is to provide straightforward communication to all residents, to help ensure the best community experience for the current residents, and to be forward-thinking enough to be certain that the community provides the best for the changing demographics of Land Harbor. We have very few homes for sale right now, and the homes that are being bought are being bought by many times, as Mr. Halter said, second and third generation people are buying these. And then we have a few people that are just coming for weekends. So we need to stay current with the community. My final thought to you is, my entire career has been dealing with people, managing expectations of those I supervised and those I worked with and for. I feel this experience directly reflects what's needed of a good POA board member. We are all different, but we are all one in the same Linville Land Harbor. Its amenities are a gift from God, and I do believe that. We need to share them with each other, and we need to be grateful that we can share them. You might be full-time, part-time, or seasonal, but this is home for all of us. I'll appreciate your vote for me as I serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patty. Just as a reminder, you'll be able to question the candidates at 1:30 Monday here in the Rec Center. It's going to be set up in two phases. The first one will be a question for all the candidates to answer, and then you'll be able to direct your questions to a particular candidate if you so wish. Okay? All right. That concludes the portion with our candidates. Now we will have questions presented to the existing board if they are available. Anybody have questions or issues they want to address with the current board or the community? We have a hot mic. Amy will bring it around or some.
Ballots were mailed yesterday, so you should have them by Monday. We have 3 seats with 5 people running.
No questions?
The board candidates, if you will see me before you leave, I want to try to get something set up maybe next week at the landing for all of you to come out and have one-on-one with the candidates. I just need to find out what day is going to work best for them.
When you take the mic, please give your name and address.
D. Humphrey, 97 Summit Lane. I just want to know who are the board members that are going off? Who are the board members going off?
Ruthanne is running again. Her term has ended. My term has ended. And Bill Scaringe, who is not here,
Okay.
his term has ended.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Surely you're not going to let us off that easy.
Is this a question or?
I would never have guessed.
Terry Daughtry, 147 Springbrook. I'm going to be nice, I promise. No, I just want to thank all of the candidates who are running because that speaks volumes, that they care about Land Harbor. Trust me, I know what it's like to be the spouse of a board member. So, Jim, we'll talk later. Dan, where are you? No, just I want to thank you guys for stepping up and putting your name in the ring to be on this board. And a personal opinion, I think Land Harbor's great. I don't see anything wrong with it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice?